The Betrayal Ellie woke up with a sharp pain in his head. Everything was dark around him except for a red light blinking above. His hands were tied to a metal chair. He could hear water dripping. Somewhere far, a soft alarm was beeping. His mouth was dry. His heart was beating fast. He tried to remember what happened. Flashes came to his mind, running, shouting, a door closing. And her face. Rhea. Rhea, he whispered. Then he saw her. She stood in front of him. Quiet. Calm. Wearing a black jacket and holding a syringe in her hand. Her eyes looked tired. Not angry. Not sad. Just cold. You should have listened, she said softly. Eli struggled, in the chair. What are you doing? Rhea, untie me. She didn't answer. She looked down at the syringe and stepped closer. Eli pulled harder, but the chair didn't move. I'm sorry, she said. This is the only way. She injected the liquid into his neck. A burning feeling spread through his body. His eyes grew heavy. Why? He asked, before darkness took him. He didn't know how much time passed. Maybe minutes. Maybe hours. When Eli opened his eyes again, the lights were flickering. Water was now rushing along the floor, cold and fast. The alarm was louder now. The whole place felt like it was shaking. His arms were free. Someone had cut the ropes, but no one was there. He looked around the room. It was a lab. Papers, broken glass, and blood were everywhere. He stood up slowly. The door was half open. A screen on the wall said, "Containment failure, level 7 breach." What the hell is going on, he said to himself. He stepped outside. The hallway was dark. Red lights blinked. Water was coming from the ceiling, from broken pipes. And there was a smell. Something rotten. Something not human. Then he heard a voice. A crackling sound came from a broken radio on the floor. He picked it up. Rhea's voice came through. Faint, but clear. If you're hearing this, run. They're coming. Eli ran. He didn't know who they were. He didn't care. He ran through the flooding corridors. His boots splashed through dirty water. Sometimes he heard sounds behind him. Metal moving, something dragging. The lab was falling apart, lights dying, machines sparking. He turned a corner and stopped. A body was floating in the water, a man in a lab coat, face down. His hand was still holding a clipboard. Eli stepped closer. The man's back had been torn open, not by an explosion, by something alive. He moved on, breathing hard. He needed to find Rhea. He needed answers. Why did she tie him up? Why did she inject him? Was it poison? Was it a drug? No. She had said, "This is the only way." She didn't want to kill him. She wanted to save him. But from what? A voice came from the intercom above. Emergency shutdown in progress. All levels flooding. Evacuate immediately. He tried to remember the layout of the lab. Rhea once showed him a map. She worked on the deep levels near the old reactor. That's where the real experiments happened. He found a stairwell. The water was pouring down from the top like a waterfall, but the lower levels were still dry. He went down. His hands shook. His mind raced. He thought of the last time they spoke. Rhea had warned him about the project. Something wasn't right. He didn't believe her. Don't trust them, she had said. Not even me. He thought she was being paranoid. But now, Eli reached a lower level. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. He opened a door slowly. Inside, he saw writing on the walls, large letters painted in red. Don't go further, they're awake. He stepped back. He wanted to run. But he had to know the truth. Suddenly the radio crackled again. Rhea's voice came broken, scared. Eli, they know. I tried, but they got out. Find the black room. The message ended in static. Eli looked around. The hallway ahead was dark, but there was a faint light at the far end, A black door stood there. Something moved in the shadows near it. Fast. Silent. He froze. A low growl echoed in the hall. Something was down there with him. Something that wasn't human. He turned off the radio and stepped back. But it was too late. The thing had seen him. The escape Biginselli didn't breathe. He stood frozen in the hallway. Cold water swirled around his boots. The growl had stopped, but the silence was worse. Too quiet. Like the air itself was waiting. The black door at the end of the hall was still open, just a little. A shadow moved behind it. Not fast. Not slow. Like it knew he was watching. Eli turned slowly and backed, away, careful not to splash the water. Then something rushed toward him. Fast. Too fast. He didn't look back. He ran. The hallway twisted left and right. Doors on both sides. Most of them broken. Sparks flew from busted wires. A soft whisper followed him. Wet steps, claws dragging on the walls. It was hunting him. Eli dove into a side room and slammed the door shut. He found a metal rod and jammed it across the handle. His breath was wild. His heart pounded in his ears. For a few seconds, nothing. Then bang. The door shook. Something hit it hard. Eli stepped back. Another bang. And another. Then, silence. Again. The thing was gone. The room was small, an old security checkpoint. One wall had monitors showing different parts of the lab. Most were broken, but one screen still worked. It showed Rhea. She was in a tunnel, holding a flare. She looked weak, limping, bleeding from her leg. But she was alive. Eli's eyes locked onto her. She was near the lower core control. He remembered that place. It was where they tested the underground flood system, the emergency failsafe, the one no one was supposed to touch. Why was she there? He spotted a speaker button under the monitor. He pressed it. Rhea. Rhea, it's me. Can you hear me? Static. Then her voice faint and shaky. Eli? Thank God. You're alive. Where are you? What's happening? Why did you listen to me? She said, her voice cracking. I didn't betray you. I saved you. They were coming for you. The experiment. It woke up. The flood was my only choice. What experiment? What's in here with me? She didn't answer for a moment. Not what. Who? They made it from us, from our DNA. They were building perfect humans, soldiers, spies. I found your file, Eli. You weren't just a test subject. You were the key. His blood ran cold. What are you saying? You were patient zero, she whispered. Eli stared at the screen, heart thudding. He looked at his arm, where she injected him. Was that why he was healing faster? Was that why he wasn't dead from the crash? Was he one of them? A sudden beep came from a nearby console. An old map loaded on the screen. It showed the lab layout. Most sections were blinking red. Flooded. Destroyed. Abandoned. But one green section remained. Core control. Where Rhea was headed. She was going to stop the flood, or trigger the final collapse. Eli knew he had to get there. He opened the door, slowly. The hallway was empty now, but the water was higher, up to his knees. Something brushed past his leg, fast and smooth. He didn't look down. He followed signs through lower tunnels, broken signs, emergency lights flickering. Along the way, he saw things he couldn't explain. Strange growths on the walls, like veins pulsing softly. Machines torn apart. Security bots melted from the inside. He found a hallway full of glass tubes. Inside them, half-formed humans, still moving, twitching, breathing through clear liquid. He backed away slowly. One of the tubes cracked. A hand reached out. Suddenly, a voice came through his radio again. Not Rhea's, Eli. A deep, cold voice. Male. Distorted. You are awake. Good. Who are you? Eli asked. We are what you were meant to be. We were made from your blood. You were the start. We are the future. Where's Rhea? He shouted. She's already part of us, the voice said. Soon, you will be too. Eli threw the radio into the water and ran. He reached the main control shaft, a huge round room with ladders leading down to the reactor below. Fire lit the walls, and voices echoed in the dark. Whispers, hundreds of them. He climbed down. Rhea was there on the floor bleeding. She looked up. You made it. Barely, he said. What the hell is this place? She pointed at the main console. We can stop the flood. I just need you to override the lock. It needs your DNA. Only you. He looked at her, unsure. Why didn't you tell me before? Would you have believed me? She asked. You trusted the project. I didn't. And now it's too late. Suddenly, a loud screech echoed above them. They were coming. Eli ran to the console. A scanner read his blood. The lock opened. Alarms blared. Emergency override accepted. Pressure draining. Flood reversal initiated. But the lights began to flicker violently. Something was trying to stop the system. The door behind them burst open. A figure stepped through. Tall, almost human, but its skin glowed under the lights. Eyes like fire. Metal claws for hands. It looked at Eli and smiled. Brother, it said. Underground nightmare. The figure stood at the entrance, blocking the only way out. Tall. Skin pale like ash. Veins glowing blue. Eyes. Cold. Watching. It smiled at Eli like it knew him. Brother, it said again. Eli didn't answer. His hands shook. Rhea pulled herself closer to the wall, holding her bleeding leg. The thing took a step forward slowly. We were born from the same blood, it said. You just came first. Eli raised a metal pipe he found earlier, trying to look brave, but he wasn't brave. Not now, not against this. Stay back, he said. The thing laughed, a dry, inhuman sound. If I wanted to kill you, you'd already be dead. Suddenly, alarms above them changed tone. Pressure reversal complete. Flood level decreasing. Eli looked at Rhea. We did it. We stopped it. But she shook her head. No, she whispered. We bought time, that's all. The creature tilted its head. You stopped the water, but not us. From the hallway, more figures appeared. 4, 5, all glowing, all tall, all twisted versions of what once were humans. The flood was your fire drill, Rhea said weakly. Now the real storm starts. Eli helped her up and they backed toward a small maintenance door at the back. As they slipped through it, the mutants didn't chase. Not yet. The first one, the brother, just watched. Run, it whispered. You'll come back to us soon. The tunnel behind the maintenance door was narrow and dripping with water. Dark, cold, the sound of machinery groaning overhead. Eli held Rhea as they walked, his mind spinning. What did he mean? Eli asked. I'll come back. Rhea looked at him with tired eyes. Your body, it was made to wake up slowly. They forced their change all at once. You're still stable. You knew? She nodded. They made you for war, Eli. You weren't just a test subject. You were their first weapon. They just didn't tell you. He felt sick. He leaned against the tunnel wall, breathing hard. So what am I now? You're still you, she said. That's the difference. They lost themselves. You haven't. They reached a broken gate. Beyond it, a storage area, old, dusty, full of gear. Eli found a working flashlight and a box of emergency rations. Rhea collapsed against the wall, coughing. Her leg was worse, now, turning dark around the wound. They touched you, Eli whispered. She didn't answer. While Rhea rested, Eli explored the room. On the back wall, he found old folders, paper records from the early days of the project. One file had his name on it, Subject E01. Status, unstable but essential. Potential, unlimited. Another file had photos. Faces he recognized. Doctors. Guards. Dead now. And Rhea. But the note under her photo said, "Unauthorized agent. Monitor closely. Do not trust." Eli closed the file slowly. A faint buzzing sound started from the walls. Voices, too low to understand, like whispers inside. Metal.Eli turned off the flashlight and listened. "Come to us. He is ready. Her blood will open the gate." He turned to Rhea. "We have to move. Now." They left the storage area and followed a service map toward the surface shafts. But the tunnels were not the same anymore. Roots, black and pulsing, had grown from the walls. Some looked like cables, but they were alive. They twitched when touched. Eli stepped carefully. The deeper they went, the stranger everything felt. Time seemed slower. Air felt heavier. Like something watched every step. They entered a long corridor marked Core Elevator Access, but it was full of cages, human-sized, and in one of them, someone was alive. "Help," the voice said. Eli rushed to the cage. A woman was inside, skin pale, eyes sunken, but still breathing. "Who are you?" Eli asked. "Dr. Kale," she whispered. "I helped build them. Then they locked me down here." Rhea limped to the cage. "You helped make the hybrids?" Kale nodded. "Not all of them. Only the first. After that, they changed the code. Made them smarter. Angrier. They think they're evolving, but really they're just becoming one." "One what?" Eli asked. Kale looked up. "A hive." Suddenly the ground shook. The roots on the walls pulsed faster. Kale screamed. "They're coming! They know I'm talking!" The power died. Darkness swallowed them. Only Eli's flashlight remained. In that dim circle of light, they saw movement. Dozens of glowing eyes, crawling from the walls, the ceiling, the vents. They had found them. Eli grabbed Rhea's arm. "Go! Now!" They ran. Screams echoed behind them. Kyle's voice. Then silence. Mutants chased through the dark. Some crawled. Some flew. Some were too twisted to even be described. Eli and Rhea reached the elevator shaft, but the elevator was gone. Just an open drop down. And above them, a ladder going up. "Climb!" Rhea shouted. They started up. Hands reached for their legs. Claws scraped the metal. Halfway up, one creature jumped. Eli kicked it. It fell, screaming into the black pit below. Finally, they reached a small platform. A sealed door. It opened just in time. They fell inside, locking it behind them. Both collapsed, shaking, bleeding, gasping for air. For now they were safe, but they knew this was only the beginning. The truth about wreathed metal door slammed shut behind them. Eli dropped to his knees, gasping for breath. Rhea collapsed against the wall, barely conscious. Her leg was worse now, purple veins spreading from the wound like roots under her skin. Outside, they could still hear the creatures scratching at the walls, whispering through vents, waiting. They had made it out of the shaft, but only barely. Eli checked the control panel near the sealed door. "Power's low," he said. "Emergency backup only. We can't stay here long." He turned to Rhea. "You're bleeding inside. I need to find medical help." But Rhea grabbed his arm, her hand cold and shaking. "No. Listen to me. Before you go anywhere, you need to know the truth." He looked into her eyes. She was scared, but not of the creatures. Of him. Rhea pulled a small drive from inside her jacket. She handed it to him. "This has everything. Your file. Mine. Project notes. All of it." Eli slid it into the wall console. Old screens flickered to life. Words began scrolling. Photos. Lab footage. Logs. Project Ashfall Primary. Goal, hybrid warfare using DNA fusion. Subject E01, human origin, gene splice control. Subject R09, intelligence operative, immune variant mission status, failed. "You're not just part of this project," Rhea whispered. "You're the beginning of it." The footage showed Eli, years ago, unconscious in a tube. Scientists arguing over his vitals. One man shouting, He's stable. That's all we need. Eli turned away from the screen. They erased my memory, he muttered. Rhea nodded. You volunteered, but they changed the terms. Your brain was reprogrammed. They needed your DNA to build the next generation. And when I found out, you turned against them, Eli said quietly. I had to, Rhea said. I was sent to monitor you, to watch you grow. But then, I started to care. Eli didn't say anything. He walked to the far end of the room. His mind was spinning. Everything he knew was a lie. He had been a weapon, a product, and Rhea had been his handler. But before he could say anything more, a loud beep came from the console. A new file opened on its own. Video footage, dated 3 days ago. A security room. Scientists shouting, alarms blaring. Rhea on screen, pulling. A gun. She aimed at the lead scientist. Open the floodgates now. You'll kill everyone, the man said. I'd rather drown them than let them out, she replied. The video ended. Eli turned slowly. You caused the flood. Rhea didn't answer. You flooded the lab before they escaped. Still silence. You were going to let them all die. Her voice cracked. I had no choice. Before Eli could say more, the lights shut off. Darkness swallowed the room. Then, a screen flickered back on showing live security footage. But it wasn't the lab. It was the surface. Gray skies, military trucks, people in hazmat suits. The world, above knew. A voice came through the intercom, cold and calm. Eli, this is command. You are ordered to return to surface access immediately. The experiment is over. Do not trust the girl. They've been watching, Rhea whispered. They know we're still alive. Eli walked to the intercom speaker. Why now? He asked. Why call me? The voice replied. Because you're the only one left who can stop it. Stop what? The Queen. Rhea's face went pale. No, she whispered. She's not ready yet. The voice replied. She's already awake. The screen changed. A dark room. A massive chamber. Filled with black liquid. Something was rising from it. A female figure. Taller than a human but shaped like one. Metal and bone mixed. Long hair of wires, eyes glowing gold. Her mouth didn't move, but the voice echoed from her. Eli. My king. Rhea tried to stand. She was made from your cells, half of you, half of everything else. She thinks you belong to her. How do we kill her? Eli asked. Rhea looked down. We don't. We bury her. A loud explosion shook the chamber. A warning flashed across the console. Pressure failure. Upper lock breached. They're inside, Rhea said. We have to move. To where? Eli shouted. She opened another door behind her, leading to a dark tunnel. There's one place left, she said. Old Level 0, the control cradle. If we make it there, we can overload the core. And destroy everything, Eli said. Yes, including us. They stepped into the tunnel. Behind them, something was crawling through the vents. The Queen's children had found them again. Monsters in the dark. The tunnel was cold and narrow, the ceiling low enough for Eli to feel trapped. Broken lights flickered above them. Water dripped from rusty pipes, echoing with every step. Rhea limped beside him, pale and weak. Her skin had gone colder. Her wound was spreading. Something inside her blood was changing. We can stop, Eli whispered. No, Rhea said. We don't stop now. Not when she's this close. Behind them, the walls groaned. Metal bent. Something large was moving through the vents. Crawling slowly but always following, they reached a rusted metal gate. Behind it was a dark shaft wider than the rest. A broken sign above read, Level 0, Prototype Cradle, Access Forbidden. This is it, Rhea said. Eli pried the gate open with a metal rod. The tunnel beyond was black. No lights, no sound, only a soft wind blowing upward. It smelled like earth and something else, something ancient. They stepped inside. They climbed down broken stairs. The air grew warmer, thicker. Walls were no longer metal but stone, covered in strange black roots. Some of them pulsed. Some moved when they passed. Eli held his breath. The deeper they went, the more he felt it, like the walls were alive, watching, waiting. Finally, they reached a massive cavern. It stretched wider than any part of the lab. Machines, half buried in rock and vines, stood like statues of a forgotten age, and in the middle of it all, a black throne, built from bone and wire. The queen was near. Rhea collapsed beside a console, coughing blood. "We're close," she said weakly. "The overload core is beneath this floor. If we can trigger it, the entire base will collapse." Eli knelt beside her. "Can you do it?" She shook her head. "I need to connect to the system, but my signal's weak. They blocked me. I'll need time. Then I'll buy it." Eli said. Suddenly, a high-pitched shriek echoed through the chamber. Lights flickered. From the shadows they came, creatures with human faces but bodies twisted by machinery. Some crawled on all fours. Others stood upright with long arms and glowing eyes. Each one was different, but each one looked wrong. The Queen's army. Eli stood in front of Rhea. No weapons, just a pipe and his fists. He looked at the monsters and remembered the file. Subject EO1, primary DNA source. These things were made from him. One of the creatures stepped forward, taller than the others. Part of its skull was exposed. Its voice was soft, but full of hate. "You abandoned us. I didn't choose any of this," Eli said. "But you were chosen," it hissed. "And now, you must finish the bond." Suddenly they charged. Eli fought. He moved faster than he ever had before. His strength surprised him. He knocked one creature back with a punch so hard, its chest collapsed. But there were too many. They swarmed him, scratching, biting, pulling him down. But just before he blacked out, a wave of fire exploded across the room. Rhea had triggered the defense grid. Turrets hidden in the walls came to life, shooting blue fire and electricity. Creatures screamed and burned. Eli dragged himself back to Rhea, bloodied, bruised. "You okay?" he gasped. "I'm still alive," she said, coughing, but then everything went silent again. A low hum started, and then she appeared. The Queen. She didn't walk. She floated above the ground. Her body shimmered with light and shadows. Her voice echoed inside their minds. "You found my cradle," she said. "Good." Eli stood up, barely able to walk. "I'm not yours," he said. She smiled. "But you are. I am your future, your perfection. I am everything they built you for." Rhea tried to trigger the overload. The system failed. "She's blocking me," Rhea shouted. The Queen looked at Rhea with pity. "You're dying," she said. "Let him go. He belongs to me now." Eli looked down at Rhea. She was shaking. Her eyes were glassy. "No," Eli whispered. "He doesn't." He picked up the data drive and shoved it into the console. His hand began to glow. The system recognized him. Core overload armed. 2 minutes to meltdown," the Queen screamed. The chamber shook. The creatures roared from the walls. Rhea pulled herself up. "There's a tunnel behind the throne," she said. "Old mining shaft. It leads to the surface." "What about you?" Eli asked. She smiled faintly. "I won't make it. No, I'm not leaving without you." "Eli." She placed a hand on his face. "You gave me something more powerful than escape. You gave me my choice back." She pushed him toward the tunnel. "Run." Eli hesitated. The Queen screamed again. The floor cracked. The ceiling began to fall. He looked back at Rhea, standing at the console, defying the Queen. Then he ran. As Eli climbed the tunnel, explosions echoed behind him. Fire and smoke filled the air. The Queen's voice faded, screaming, burning. Then everything went dark. He woke up. Under the sky, rain fell softly. Ash mixed with it. He turned around. The lab was gone. Just rubble. No Queen. No monsters. No Rhea, or so he thought. A faint beep came from his wrist. A message from her. "If you get this, it means I bought you time. Don't waste it." They're not all gone. Some made it out. And if they find you, run, fight, survive. Do it for me." Eli stood up slowly. He looked at the horizon and started walking. Countdown to collapse. The sky was gray. Ash floated in the air like snow. Eli walked alone down a cracked road, his boots crunching over dead leaves and burnt plastic. Behind him, smoke still rose from where the underground lab had collapsed. But something felt wrong. The world was too quiet. No birds, no cars, no voices, only silence. He reached a small town, or what was left of it. Buildings half burned, shops with broken windows, not a single soul. He found a mirror in a shattered car. His eyes looked different now, brighter, sharper, almost glowing. Eli walked into a gas station. Shelves were empty, lights dead, but a radio on the counter buzzed to life. "If anyone's listening, we're still here. Safe zone in Sector 17. Approach with care. Don't trust anyone showing symptoms, especially the eyes." The message, repeated. Eli looked at his reflection again. His eyes. He left the gas station quickly. As he walked toward the edge of town, he spotted something in the distance. A figure, a man in military gear, standing completely still, helmet off. Eli raised his hands. "Hey, I'm not infected." The man didn't answer. Eli moved closer. Then he saw it. The man's face, frozen in terror. Mouth open. Skin dry like stone. His chest was open, but not torn, grown outward. Roots had sprouted from within him and wrapped around his body like armor, and on his chest, carved into the flesh. "We are coming." Eli stumbled back. Then the air changed. A low sound vibrated through the ground like a whisper underground. Something alive beneath the surface. He ran. That night, Eli hid in an abandoned train yard. He found a cargo container, pushed the door, shut and tried to sleep. But sleep didn't come. His mind kept replaying her voice. Rhea. Her last words. Her sacrifice. Was she really gone? Suddenly a flickering light appeared inside the container. A hologram. Rhea. Not live. A recorded message. "Eli, if you're seeing this, then I failed to stop the core collapse. I knew I might not make it, so I left this for you. Everything you need to know is here." The message shifted to show a map, locations marked with red circles. Across cities, across continents, they planted seed cores in different sites. Backup copies of the Queen's mind. If even one survives, she survives. Eli stared at the map. The explosion hadn't killed her. It had only slowed her down. The hologram flickered again. Her voice cracked with pain. "I was infected, Eli. I felt her inside me. The Queen's voice. Her thoughts. She's not just trying to conquer us. She's trying to replace us, reshape the world. She believes humanity is broken. She wants to evolve it by force." The message paused. Then she said softly, "There's one way to stop her. For good. But you won't like it." Eli didn't sleep that night. He sat on the floor thinking, breathing, remembering. By morning, he had made a choice. He would find the Queen's seed cores and destroy every last one. He began walking towards Sector 17, the safe zone mentioned on the radio. But as he passed through an empty tunnel, he saw fresh footprints in the dust. Small, light. Someone was following him. He turned quickly, pipe raised. Nothing there, just the wind. But he heard something. A whisper. Then, from behind a pillar, a young girl stepped out, maybe 12 years old, wearing a torn hoodie. She looked scared. "Please," she said. "Don't hurt me." Eli lowered his weapon. "I won't." "Are you alone?" She nodded. "My name is Nova." "Where are your parents?" Her face changed. Sad. They were taken by the glowing ones. Eli gave her food and water. As they sat together, Nova looked at his eyes. "You're like them," she said, "but not like them." "What do you mean?" "They called you. The key. Who told you that?" Nova looked down. "The voice in my dreams." Eli stared at her. "What voice?" "A woman. She has wires for hair and gold eyes." His blood turned cold. The Queen. He realized something horrible. The Queen was reaching into the minds of survivors, whispering, planting ideas, calling to the ones she could still control. Nova had never been infected, but she had been touched. That night. Eli scanned Nova while she slept using a salvaged device from the lab. He found something, a signal, inside her brain, a weak connection. She was a carrier. He had a choice: leave her behind, or try to save her. But before he could decide, Nova opened her eyes, and her voice changed. "You shouldn't have come here, Eli." She stood up slowly, her eyes now glowing gold. "You burned my cradle, but you can't kill a mother." Eli backed away. "You're not her." "No," Nova said. "But she's part of me now." The ground trembled. From the hills behind them, dark shapes began to rise, hundreds of them, twisted forms. Some crawling, some walking. The Queen had found him again. And this time, she brought her army. The final betrayal, or beginning. The night sky was torn by red lightning. Eli stood on a hill of cracked stone, eyes fixed on the swarm rising from the valley. Hundreds of creatures, some with metal wings, others crawling like insects. Some, tall like trees with glowing faces. In front of him stood Nova, her eyes golden, her voice no longer her own. "You ran," she said softly, "but you always come back to me." "You're not her," Eli said. Nova smiled. "Not yet. But I'm growing inside her. She will carry me to the surface, into the cities, into the air." The Queen had found a new host. Eli looked down at the weapon in his hand, a stolen detonator linked to a hidden bomb deep under the valley. One press, and the entire swarm would burn. But Nova would die too. She was just a child, and he had already lost Rhea. A sudden memory flashed in his mind, Rhea's voice on the old recording. "Don't fight like them, win like you." The swarm began moving forward. Eli stepped back, his finger hovered over the trigger. Nova took a step closer. "She lied to you, you know," Nova said in the Queen's voice. "Rhea. She hid your final file, the one about why they made you." Eli narrowed his eyes. "You were never made to destroy us," Nova whispered. "You were made to lead us." Suddenly, a sound echoed from the sky. Helicopters. Lights. Human forces were coming. But they were too far. The swarm would reach him first. He had a choice. Press the button. End it all, or try something no one had tried before. "Talk to the Queen." Eli dropped the detonator. The swarm stopped moving. Nova blinked, surprised. "What are you doing?" she asked. "If I was made to lead you," Eli said, "then listen to me now." The valley fell silent. "You're not evolving. You're copying, stealing pieces of humanity, but you don't understand it." He took a step forward. "We survive, not because we're strong, but because we choose, because we protect each other. Not control, not infection. Choice." For a moment, the swarm didn't move. Then Nova's eyes flickered, like two minds fighting, the Queen and the child. Nova's small voice returned. I don't want to hurt anyone." Eli held out his hand. "Then fight her. You're stronger than she thinks." Nova screamed and dropped to her knees. The swarm shrieked in confusion. Some creatures collapsed. Others turned on each other. The hive was breaking. The Queen was losing her grip, but not for long. Nova looked up, tears in her golden eyes. "She's angry," she whispered. "She's coming here, in full." From the center of the valley, the ground split. A massive figure rose, the Queen's final form, taller than a building, part flesh, part machine, wings of black cables. Her face was Nova's, and Ria's, and Eli's, all mixed together, a monster born of stolen DNA. I offered you heaven, the Queen roared. You gave me fire. Eli picked up the detonator again. This ends now. But before he could press it, Nova grabbed his arm. Wait. There's another way. She reached into her jacket and pulled out a small injector, a backup from the lab. Ria left this for you. It's not a weapon. It's a link. A link? To her, Nova said. To me. To the hive. If you take it, you won't destroy the Queen. You'll overwrite her. Take control. Eli hesitated. If he injected it, he might lose himself forever. No going back. But if he didn't, the swarm would reach the cities. Millions would die. Nova placed the injector in his hand. You choose, Eli. Not her. Not them. You. Choice 1. Detonate the valley. Kill the Queen. Kill Nova. Save humanity. But lose everything. Choice 2. Inject himself. Become part of the hive. Overwrite it. Save Nova. Take control. But lose his humanity. Eli looked at the swarm, looked at Nova, thought of Ria, then made his choice. Optional ending 1. The sacrifice. He pressed the detonator. A bright flash. The valley exploded. The Queen's scream echoed across the world. Nova's voice said thank you. Silence. The swarm was gone, but so was he. Humanity was safe. For now. Optional ending 2. The bond. He injected himself. His vision blurred. The swarm screamed, then fell silent. The Queen's form shattered. Nova stood up, eyes clear. You did it, she whispered. Eli was different now, part human, part hive, but still him. He turned to the helicopters above. It's over, he said into the radio, but keep watching the skies.